was wrong about prepping for bodybuilding. You see, I thought people would just go into these contest preps because they wanted to feel beautiful and because they really needed to hide their eating disorders. And listen, there are people like that, but there are also people like myself who are prepping for a show with so many intentions behind it that it just is so incredible. That makes me wonder how many people like me have gone through so many hurdles, but they've always wanted to do something for themselves. I was having this conversation with a client who recently reached out to me and said, "You're so beautiful, you have everything that you could ever want to have in a body like yours. Why do you have to go in such a difficult path to feel better about yourself or look much more beautiful?" And my answer, just thinking, this is just much more stronger, and this goes way beyond just a physique. Here are my reasons why I am prepping for a show. It is something I've always dreamed of, at least once, just once. I need and I love having a challenge and a purpose, and for so many years I just didn't know what I was training for, what I was doing. I was just doing something for my health, for my longevity, but there was something empty that I needed to fill up. My life was tasteless, boring, repetitive, focused on working, on building my business, but I was not truly excited about my own journey. I didn't have an end goal, which now I am focusing on something that gives me purpose to show up every day in many ways. This forces me to be more feminine, which is something that I've always struggled with, but I never found a reason why. Why do I need to be more feminine if I am great the way I am? And I am, but this is something I wanted to explore for myself. This gives me purpose to train harder, to go to the gym, to train with purpose, with intention, with intensity, with I just need to show up. This makes me be more accountable and more diligent with my diet, with my tracking, with everything I put in my body, and makes me look after my body more. This is also giving me a important area for growth, where you just don't focus only about food and thinking about food and hunger. You also know that there are ways that you can live your life without focusing your life around food. This is also challenging me to grow, to be out of my zone of comfort, because it is really hard. Believe it or not, it is inspiring more people than I thought it would. People that wanted to do something just as simple as showing up or trying something just because they really want to step up their game or believe in themselves. This is also helping me to show up more in social media in more raw ways, just being myself, really having super easy ways to just talk about my journey, my struggles, the things I'm going through, with no filter, with no trying to make up a story or following a script. It is my true life and my true struggles that people truly find valuable because they are going through the same things. And this is not just for the sake of prepping, but for weight loss, for any kind of goals that you have. Things can be very relatable. And before, I would just spend hours just trying to think or come up with topics for my social media to be relevant, for me just to show up, but it was harder. Now I am doing it because I just want to provide my own story, my values to people and inspire others. Believe it or not, it's helping my husband in many ways. He's inspired. He's telling me beautiful things every day. He's proud of me. He is telling me that he wants to do better so he can also be with me for the show. At least, obviously he's not going to compete, but he's going to spend time next to me, and so he's doing something for himself as well. So this is important support for me because he's my person, my best friend, and so his support is the biggest thing that matters to me, because obviously we live together and I see him 24/7. And finally, the one that I truly discovered recently was I have always been an athlete myself, and now it's been 11 years since I moved to Australia, and it's been about 11 years where my life was pretty much steady, empty, finding purpose, working on myself, working in different areas of my life. But I left that athlete 11 years ago, where before I had the purpose, I was running for half marathons, and I was really feeling like I was an athlete and I was showing up. And I felt super proud of myself. I got injured, and then after being injured, now I don't have any purpose. I feel like everything I do and I train for has no meaning. So this is like a second opportunity I'm giving to myself to feel like I can do hard things, that I'm an athlete, that I can be like one, behave like one, show up like one, and prove to myself that everything I've given and I've left on the gym floor and put the reps in every single day actually has a meaning and has impacted and have a good positive outcome in my physique. But beyond that, the strength, the growth, the mindset, everything is actually coming together after so many years of hard work with no real direction. So yes, this long video actually just represents a full story of so many reasons why people endure and do something like this, as competing and prepping, that has nothing to do necessarily just to look better, just to have a beautiful physique. That's part of it. But now that I see it from this end, that I'm doing the work, that I'm doing the things and I've done the reflections, it is way more than that.